guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Roxy. Today's project, I'll be making this beautiful Gallerie Miami vase that I really love. It's a bit costly, but I decided to make a version of mine using some locally available materials. If you're interested to see how I made it, keep on watching. For this project, I'll be only using 2 items to make the beautiful Miami vase. I'll be using a white poster board and a gold reflective paper. If you're interested in buying the gold reflective paper, I'll put the contact and also the link in the description box if you're interested in buying one. I used a white foam board which is 5mm thick to make the Miami vase. First, I started by drawing the shape of the vase that I started with on the foam board. The measurements of this vase I'll put in the description box if you're interested in making a similar vase of the same size, but if you want to make a smaller one, you can use the size or the measurements that you prefer for your vase. After making points with my pencil, I went ahead to join the points using my rulers so as to guide me on where to draw my vase. On the opening part of the vase, I had to use a square ruler to make sure that the lines are straight. The lines which forms the top part of the vase should be on a straight line, so I had to use a square ruler to guide me on that. And then the measurements of the neck of the vase, I'll put it in the description box. But if you want it longer or shorter, it will depend with the way you'd love to make your vase. So I used the measurements that were in the gallery page to make the vases. So they'll be the same exact size as the vases on their website. The thickness of the inner part of the vase, I had to put 2 inches thick so as to give me the exact thickness as the Miami vase. So after marking the 2 inches thickness, I went ahead to join the points using my ruler. I did the same on this side and also on the top part of the vase. Once I was done drawing the vase on my foam board, I went ahead and took my X-Acto knife and started to cut off the vase that I had drawn on the foam board using my X-Acto knife. So I placed my ruler, which helped me on cutting the line straight, and went ahead to cut out the template of the vase from the foam board. After cutting the foam board, I had 2 templates which will serve as the front and the back side of the vase. Then on the inner part, I had to cut some other foam boards which will help me join the 2 faces, the upper face and also the lower face of the vase. The measurements also, I'll put them in the description box of everything that I had cut on this project. I then went ahead to the fun part, which was covering the foam board using the reflective paper. So I had to trace down the measurements or the board on the reflective paper so as to get the right measurements that I require for the reflective papers, which will cover the vase that I had cut from the foam board. After cutting the reflective paper that I required to cover the foam board, I went ahead to cover the foam board with my reflective paper. So I had to remove the back part of the reflective paper since the reflective paper is self-adhesive, and then I placed my foam board carefully onto the back part of the reflective paper. On this part I had to use something soft which will help me align my reflective paper on the foam board without creating any bubbles on the reflective paper. While I was spreading my reflective paper on the foam board, I realized the end part was sticking onto the board that I had placed it on, so I had to remove it, then place it on something that will raise the foam board high a bit so as to avoid the reflective paper from sticking onto the surface. Once I was done, I went ahead and spread my reflective paper carefully on top of the foam board so as to avoid making any bubbles on the foam board. Once I was done, I went ahead and overturned my foam board and started cutting the reflective paper on the back so as to help it stick well onto the other side of the foam board. I had to use my pair of scissors and also X-Acto knife to help me cut the reflective paper well so as to ensure it sticks well on the other side of the foam board. I also did the same thing on the sides of the vase. So the inner part of the vase, which will be holding the front and the back part of the vase, I had to cover them also with the gold reflective paper. Just as I did on the front part and the back part of the vase, I used my pair of scissors to cut the reflective paper so as to ensure it sticks very well on the foam board. After placing the reflective paper on the foam board, this is how they have turned out, and I really love how they have given my reflective paper have given me a smooth finish on the foam board. Then went ahead to glue down the sides of the vase onto the back part of the vase. I had to use my hot glue gun to stick them onto the back part of the vase. So kindly check how I've placed the sides part of the vase, and also kindly remember to add more glue so as to make sure the foam board holds on well onto the lower part of the vase. I went ahead and glued down all the sides of the vase onto the back part of the vase, and I had to ensure I put enough hot glue so as to make sure they are more firm or they hold on well so as they don't come off with time. So I had to use a lot of glue on this part to stick my foam boards well. Down all the sides of the foam board. This is how my vase turned out, and finally I went ahead to glue down the top part of the vase so as to cover my vase to make it complete. Just as I did on the inner parts, I went ahead and added glue on the sides so as to make sure it holds on well onto the inner part of the vase. Done gluing the front part of the vase, I cleaned down my vase and removed the excess glue string on my vase. And finally guys, this is the end look of my two beautiful vases. I decided to make the longer one too, and the measurements of the longer one too, I'll put it in the description box. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this beautiful Miami vase that I have just made using only 2 items, which you can get it at your local store. I love how these beautiful vases have turned out. They're almost similar with those from Z Gallerie. I only used $5 for each vase, and that has saved me a lot of money, since buying one from the Z Gallerie goes for around $50, so you can compare $5 and $50. If you love this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this beautiful vase that I've just made. Thank you so much guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and also kindly watch on the end screen videos the playlist that I've posted there. And those who haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye, see you next time for a new video.